You are now tuned in to Uptown Talk.
Yeah, we gonna let that ride for a little bit. We gonna let that just rock for a little bit.
I should have never gave you the headphones.
Yes.
So Chicago.
I didn't give you too much power.
You gotta let the vibes rock, man. Shoot. It's February, it's that time. We in the season of love. That's that real music right there, man. It's that real music right there. I don't want to be one of those dudes that be like, yo, this that real hip hop right here.
You ain't lying though.
Nah.
I ain't gonna hold you. You look like one of those dudes. That
No,
say
for
that.
real. I started crying like Lil B and shit. Like, yo, it's that real music right here, man.
Let's get back to the essence.
Word.
You know?
Now, this powerful, though. Place I'm going to go again, at least now. Now I know to go within. But with all that said, if you are listening to my voice right now and you know who this is, thank y'all for always listening to us. But if you have no idea who I am, this is Uptown Talk. We are back. It's 2024. And, what's going on, fellas?
It's more like Uptown Talk Kiss FM.
Yeah, for real. For real. Let me let it down a little bit. But nah, this is we back. We here. This episode 2. What's going on with y'all, fellas? Oh well, my fault. It's definitely
Episode 2, maybe in 2024.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all that counts.
It's like season 3.
It's really like episode 66.
It's
okay,
season,
the official number is episode 66.
It's like season 3, episode 2, but 60. Whatever. How are y'all doing? How was y'all week? How's everything going on with everybody?
Yeah, it was pretty good. How was y'all week? I mean, I hate to throw it on y'all. But
Yeah, I'm about to say.
You didn't give an answer.
How was your? I was like, yo, how was your week? He was like, well, how was your week?
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. Maybe that's just my instinct because my instinct sometimes
defensive.
Not defensive, but it's just like I'm gonna throw the question.
Word.
Yeah.
Nah, but honestly, my week was good, man. Listen, today Nigeria beat Angola.
Okay.
We smoking on that Angola pack.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? We made it to the semifinals.
How many more games y'all got to the championship?
2 more games and we win it. We'll be drinking Hennessy from the AFCON Cup.
Who's your next opponent, by the way?
We have to see who wins tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
The same old,
we're living
man.
good.
Yo, man, look.
Team Nigeria right now.
Yo,
don't worry. There's a lot of people praying for our downfall. I'll say that.
Okay, I know you hyped right now
He's
about
very
everything.
You told me to tell you about my week. Now you mad I'm telling you about my week?
I gave you the platform. I'm trying to go down. But
Nah, that was one day. I had another good week.
okay, just break it. Like, let us go with the week. Like, how was Tuesday actually? Don't answer that. But but yeah, my week was real chill. Just mostly working, trying to get stuff done. Got a couple. I'm actually like super excited because I got a couple creative projects that I got kind of hit up for. One of my mans out in NY, Scooter, just hit me up talking about a project that he got. So I'm pretty hyped about that. And yeah, it's just been a good week, a good work week. I've been actually trying to get more hours, so you know how it be, trying to get to the bread, trying to get to the money. You feel me?
Damn, that's good to hear.
Thanks.
You on one today.
I'm about to say,
I was just saying.
I'm about to say you sound condescending. I didn't like
It
that.
definitely sounded condescending.
It really sounded good to hear. Listen, I'm saying I'm from a genuine place only because I was just hyper because like my Nigerian pride kicked in. But I was like, after I heard what you saying, I was like, yeah, he did have a good week.
Yo, y'all done hit the mic like 2 times already.
So
Mine's was a complete accident.
You know I got the headphones on, so I can hear everything.
Nah, I know how that's gonna be.
how was your week, Tom?
Don't hit the mic. Before I have to hit the mic on you.
You done?
Nah, you know where I was going with it.
Hey, my week was eventful. I had my first do fire as a pump operator, meaning like I was the main driver, the one in control. Everybody's lives depended on me getting in water. We had a quick knockdown, so shout out to 4 for that experience. And then you always remember your first.
Wait, what exactly you steer the truck or you still the?
Yeah.
So they have to like
So like, all right, so the fire was in an apartment building, a high rise, right? So I was outside and I had to like connect our truck to the building to supply them with water.
Okay.
And then they went, in the building and put out the fire.
Oh, you have to parallel park the truck or something?
Nah, I had to pull up. I did block the street off though.
Yeah, nah,
That's good. That's good. That's
Stop.
good.
It's a fire.
Word.
That's good engine operator tactics.
Brother
No,
had his
fire.
first. We love that. We love that.
No pun intended.
It's always good when your first is eventful.
Yeah, and in the right way.
Our big boy has another first coming too on this Tuesday. He's going to his first basketball game. Yay! Hercules!
Nah, you know what?
Can I speak on my week?
Oh wait, no, hold up. Before you go, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I just want to shout out. I want to shout out the family. I want to shout out our peoples. David, sample 283. This is the hats that he got going on. They hard, so y'all check it out.
He got some other stuff coming out too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Support, tap in.
Support black business. You feel me?
And second, this is not
my
my first NBA game. It's just the first NBA game in my adult life. Quan, how was your week?
My week was solid. Worked a lot. Was working on a lot of fitness reels and trying to get more content out. Trying to show more of that side of me of just my fitness journey. I threw up a side by side collage of my before of like 2020, late 2022, early 2023 to me now. And I got a lot of good feedback. People talking about the transformation, and a lot of people typing in.
How much did you weigh back then? 2020 what?
Late 2022. So I would say around October of 2022, I weighed 230 pounds. Mm-hmm. Then I got down to
drum roll, please.
I got down to around 180, 178. So that's a smooth 52 pounds. Right now, I'm a little heavier. I'm like 190 right now.
No, that's the winter time. Don't worry.
But you get what I'm saying? We still riding off that high right now. So
absolutely. Health is wealth.
Word.
Don't you ever forget that.
He did that. No slim fast.
Word, for real.
Slim fast.
I went through that, so you didn't have to go to. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
He walked so y'all could. Other way around.
What?
Pause so y'all can walk.
He's a trainer too, though. He'll get you right.
Of course.
You see these arms? Listen, he helped everybody else out. He make sure the whole family got arms.
What? Okay, but with
I don't know.
with all of
my
that.
week was obviously good. I
appreciate the compliment. I'll just take it as a compliment. I'm gonna leave it alone.
All
Go ahead,
aside,
Sean.
my man got his body together. And we happy for him.
No, for real.
And he's helping other people too.
With all that being said, though, just to go back to the beginning of the episode, the theme of it. We had the good common plan, love, and everything. Like I said from the jump, we in that season. Valentine's Day coming up. What I wanted to know is, like, what's y'all vibes, like, when it comes to Valentine's Day? I be on Twitter all the time. Everybody has an idea of, like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do for Valentine's Day. Like, when it comes to, like, the season of love, Cupid's holiday, how y'all vibe out with it?
Who's going to kick it off?
Let the married guy go first.
Okay.
Oh, word.
Yawn.
Valentine's Day is extra special. Like we
extra special.
We practice date nights. Like we got a date night once a week, but Valentine's Day is special because it's a little bit more festive than the regular like average date night, I would say. And then I would say my vibe is like you got to cater to your partner's love language. So That's a great read for all the men out there.
See that?
That's good vocabulary right there.
That's a great read for all the men out there.
That's a learning man.
That's SAT vocabulary for relationships.
That's for real.
Love language.
So I know my lady. So we got a nice dinner.
What's her love language, if you don't mind me asking?
Her love language?
Yeah.
Gifts.
Okay.
Yeah, gifts, and then a close second is acts of service.
Oh.
Y'all niggas know my love language.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Physical touch.
I'm about to say, say it with me. You know how I get down.
But that's the beauty of it.
Just rub my head a couple times.
You can
just love on me.
People experience it in different ways, so that's the beauty of it. Like,
mine is the combo of physical touch and quality time.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful combo right there.
Definitely quality time because you don't necessarily have to touch me, but you feel me? If you with me, it's a vibe.
Nah, you gotta touch me.
What you think, Quan?
Nah, I know that the touching is like a build up.
You talking about my personal words of affirmation?
Where's the affirmation?
Affirmation.
Yo, love language.
I'm all over the place. So my personal love language, I would say, one is definitely physical touch. I'm not gonna front that, not to get too like personalized with it. I ain't gonna front. I love when a young lady just rub the back of the hand on the beard. I ain't gonna front. Yeah. That's always a vibe. They always get me.
Always get you feeling good.
He on his Umar Johnson.
Well,
definitely.
Big Papa.
But I also
love
like
Nubian queen.
I
my
love
top
when you
three
rub on
is
me, queen.
physical touch, words of affirmation, and quality time.
But no, bro, what's your vibes for Valentine's Day?
Oh,
though?
for Valentine's Day. So first I'm gonna paint the picture. I'm gonna just say how I used to get down, bro. It was always because I know a lot of people from like North Jersey, Newark, Montclair, like the whole Essex County. They got into Cuban Pete's. That was my bag for a long time. Just taking the Cuban Pete's. Obviously, it's a Cuban restaurant, Spanish influence, obviously. But now I would say it's on the same lines of a dinner date, but now I guess adding just more finishing touches like a bottle of wine because we were drinking the age, obviously, and some flowers, some roses or something.
I don't know if I said we of drinking age, like we not old as hell.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
no.
When I was tapped into Cuban Peas, I was young, like I'm 16, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 17,
It's funny though. Cuban Pete's used to be the spot if you want to go on a nice little date.
Yeah,
you got
definitely.
$50. You got $50. You got food for two.
Word.
and vibes, but
Can't do that nowadays.
because Cuban Pete's is also the spot to like when you're a single brother like me, get caught up.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily that I care, but it just be sometimes awkward seeing somebody
Yeah, I'm not
you
gonna
took care before.
I thought you about to throw some smut on Cuban Peas for a second. I thought you were gonna take it to that angle. It seemed like you was going
Are we
there.
talking about their food?
Other things that we're not going to touch on, but it seemed like smut was
Listen,
going
it's
to come.
nothing new. Cuban Pete's microwaves their food when they get to you. You know what I'm saying? That's also why they're giving.
I mean, they definitely
that's why the highest meal on there is $17.95.
I mean, when I tell them to cook my joint medium, I know they put it in the microwave for only a minute. Like,
listen, it's hot. Because it's like radioactive hot when it comes out. It's not like this is just cooked off the food. Like, no, I can feel the me turning into
shit don't smell like it was in the oven or nothing.
It's mad hot.
What's your vibe for Valentine's Day, though?
Vibes for Valentine's Day? I mean, as of right now, I haven't planned anything. I ain't got a lady. But,
If you did, though.
Yeah, but
You hear that, ladies?
What's the usual?
You heard the man.
You heard the man.
A lady might just stumble upon me. Who knows?
I mean, look, man, it don't take long to fall in love.
Tosin the type, he always single, starting February 12th.
Ladies, you got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Tap in with the man.
It's not by choice.
For the love of Tosin.
We want love.
Word. I would love a lady on Valentine's Day.
Nah, but wait, you already said what you.
Nah, I didn't.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I can't tell you what my vibes for this Valentine's Day is, but I will tell you I've had nice vibes for Valentine's Day. Like, sometimes I give a girl a gift. Like last year, I gave a girl some chocolates, a card, and a rose. You don't got to do too much when you're single. You just got to let your interest know you're interested. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's about it. Like, especially if, you just talking to them. I don't feel like I should do too much if we're not together or have or anything, like, you know what I'm saying? We just kind of, I'm going to send you maybe some rose, a card, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to lie to you, for other Valentine's Day, I've definitely sent that edible arrangement over.
Ooh.
Shit, bro, I ain't gonna lie.
And they lady.
I'm about to say, yeah, you gotta open up.
It don't gotta be a lot of money though. You just gotta be creative.
Oh,
That's what they said.
It's funny. Just speaking on what Tosin's talking about, it's definitely one of the most commercialized I guess holidays there is.
It is commercialized. It's more so that because it doesn't have to be. You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. But more than likely, some people guys spend a lot on their lady for Valentine's Day, you know, and not necessarily that, you know, this is like a regular thing. It might just be on Valentine's Day that they might spend real big and heavy, and the rest of the year they chilling. But they make a lot of people, and then especially how Valentine's Day is advertised and put in media, it's for men to buy stuff for women. You get what I'm saying? Or to buy someone for their significant others. You know, more of the world is still heterosexual, so like that's what I'm saying. Men for their women, but in whatever kind of relationship you are, is for you to buy something for your significant other.
It is more like it is like very much like it's gender coded. Like it's very much like, hey, like the masculine figure in the relationship is the one that's supposed to do for like the more like, you know, the woman or the feminine person in the relationship.
When was the last time you did you ever get a Valentine's Day gift? Dealing with any girls you met?
Man,
I've never.
I got some cheeks.
Where about that? You know that's the Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
but that's
say
what
nightcap is always the man's gift.
But I'm not. With all
That's
due
always
respect,
the man's
I
gift for
you know,
Valentine's Day specifically.
When my when I was with my girl, like I got some cheeks, but I ain't gonna hold you. I get this one it is.
Yeah, exactly. How much of a gift is it?
But that's a famous meme though.
Word.
It's like, sex again.
I'll package that same thing up again.
Yo,
I like chocolate too.
Word.
You
I'm
don't present it with a bow or anything.
That
Like, they just deliver it.
after I spent $200 at Fogo the Child, we went back to the crib. I was like, happy Valentine's Day, babe. I was like,
it's like,
I love you.
Yay! I
You
spent all this
switched the
on
presentation up this time. I appreciate it.
I'm like, no, like no, we off the Henny now, so it's live. But I'm like, damn, I kind of want some Jordans.
So, all in all, if you're single, especially if you're really young, and
You heard that, Kayla?
Yo,
Word.
What standard is a dinner date within your budget? Maybe a flower, some chocolates and stuff. Just basically follow your budget. If you're young, you're single. You don't have to go all out. That's what all of us is trying to get across and reiterate. So
listen, like if y'all young and single, like, and I'm talking about like maybe like 18 or 16 and under. Listen, just get them flowers, chocolate, and a card. That's it.
Oh yeah, if you're that, most definitely.
And I do that, and I'm also saying this to people who you just interested in. Y'all in that early texting phase with people or whatever it may be. Just get them a flower, a card, and chocolate, and keep it moving.
Hold on real quick. Let me just put this little out. Hey, baby, I definitely love everything you do for me for Valentine's Day. I don't want to misconstrue nothing, like, because I know she's going to be looking at this. I love you, baby. And then, you know, it is what it is. Happy Valentine's Day. Actually, we're going to do something really nice for Valentine's Day. Love you. Mm-hmm. But with that being said,
that's a man that loves his lady.
You feel me? You feel me?
Nah, he loves his lady.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, but
you can't have no confusion in the household. But go ahead.
But at the end of the day, speaking of love, speaking of the what happened.
Nah, I'm just thinking she's gonna be like, I heard what you said.
Word. I heard what you said on your little podcast.
She gotta watch the full episode.
Word.
You gotta watch the full episode.
Word. I'm gonna be
context is important.
I'm like, baby, you didn't hear the context though.
Word.
But speaking of context and putting things in perspective, speaking of just being in the mood for love and relationships and whatnot, what's been kind of making the rounds? Shaq went on one of his podcasts, and he was talking about just this opening up to women in relationship, and I thought it would really be like a way for us to open up conversation just about on some serious shit about how we move in our daily relationship. So I'm about to play it now. Give me 2 seconds. So here we go. Hold up. Oh shoot!
Yeah, still been playing that song, right?
Sorry about that, peoples. Here we go. Here's the clip
They don't
go.
give a damn.
They like this
That's
song.
someone that you really could trust and really open up.
Open up to a woman?
Yeah.
Never. No, never.
When's the last time you think you've opened up to a woman?
We don't.
Your whole life.
I'm telling you. You know, got players like I can. Me and him related.
Yeah.
It's our first time meeting.
Now
but
you got, there's
no,
some
no.
connection here.
Oh, no.
If they gonna tell you, you can.
Because you know why? Because once you do, whenever something go down, they gonna throw it back in your face.
So that's
why.
real.
That's why. So you can't ever.
That's why you cried because your dad left you.
Yeah.
That's
You
crazy.
never had
That's
someone
nuts.
you really could trust and really open up.
Open up to a woman?
Okay,
It's
yeah.
always so funny when he open up to a woman.
Word, never.
He sounds
He
genuine.
sounded preposterous.
Word.
How outraged.
So
He sounds genuinely like
I
shocked.
want to say, so context with the word context once again is very important in a situation like this. Shaq, in his situation, being of his celebrity status, of his financial status, of going back to celebrity, his popularity as a person, him being able to be vulnerable and open up to a woman is different from a lot of other people's experience, almost everybody else's experience.
For sure.
So for him, people just taking a clip of what he said that may really apply to his life and his everyday goings. But for me, I mean, you can't open up to every female. I haven't opened up to every female, but ones I was in a relationship, ones I really vibe with, ones I trusted, most definitely. With certain things, like certain things you don't share with anybody, certain things you don't share with your own brother or siblings and stuff. Certain things you take with you. You may even harbor it until you get into therapy. But I mean, I think it is some validity to what Shaq is saying, but you also got to understand the person you're dealing with. I think that's very important. Dealing with the person you're dealing with, and I'm gonna open the floor to somebody else.
Nah, I was gonna say like I think when we have like these conversations, it opens up a lot of can of worms, and it goes into different places because when you hear a man say like, hey, like what being open and honest and having open communication about my feelings with a person that I'm deciding to spend the rest of my life with, have children with, build a family with, build a home with, like open up to them. How could I do that? That sounds crazy.
Do you feel like you can open up to a woman?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a cornerstone. It's a cornerstone foundational piece of like even building a really good relationship. But let me just go because I think for a lot of men, I think there's two folds to it. First of all, why do men feel like they can't open up to women in a relationship? But also too, like, how do they open up to women in a relationship, and why should they open up? So it's a lot of different ways we could go about that. But first of all, just going off the simple question, do you believe you should? Yes, I made it a point. Me and Kayla, a lot of our relationship has really like flourished because I've told her, very important things about me, express myself to her and put a lot of my feelings on the forefront.
So, I don't know. So is that what it looks like to open up for a woman? For you, just to say, like you said, putting your emotions on the forefront, saying things are important. What does it look like specifically to open up for a woman? Because, I mean, I say important things to women. That doesn't mean I necessarily feel like I'm opening up to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I say important things. I mean, I might I rock with you. I mean, that's I'm open up into you.
I mean, I think opening up looks like it looks complex. It's not just, it doesn't look like just one particular thing, but there's certain things that for a fact, like when you're with a partner, that's outside of like very, very close family. Those are some of the people that know you the closest, and I think for a lot of men, because men are told to like, they have to hold off on their emotions. They're supposed to be stoic. They're not supposed to express themselves. A lot of that, it boils over in a lot of different ways, but it keeps a lot of men, a lot of men suffer in silence. They feel like they have no one to open up to. And some of it is because we're all socialized to believe in that. So like a lot of women, I personally believe that a lot of women are open to hearing men and like, learning how to deal with men, being vulnerable and expressing themselves. But also too, there's a lot of women that just don't know how to like create that open space. And then there's a lot of men that don't know how to perform and express themselves. They're not giving them those tools.
Do you feel like
I wanted to ask you, Tosin, have you had that experience where you feel as though you was able to comfortably open up to a significant other or open up to a female you was dealing with at the moment you was dealing with any of the females in your past?
Don't turn this on me.
I think everybody needs to speak on this.
But I know you was about to ask a question too. So
I mean, I have opened up to a woman before, but I'm like, it's not a regular practice for me no more, or that's not a regular practice for me like that. And to a certain extent, I do feel like you can't just open up to a woman. I haven't found a woman to open up to. That's my thing. I mean, I'm not really saying that you can't, but in my head, it's kind of somewhat like I can't open up to a woman right now because there's just no woman I feel like I need to open up to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just really what it is. It's like, I mean, maybe one day in my life, maybe, nah, yeah, maybe, yeah, definitely, possibly one day in my life. I hope I could one day, but I'm not. It's nobody I feel like I need to, and I don't feel like I need to open up to a woman right now because, I mean, just because you can't open up to a woman doesn't mean you can't open up to like one of your male friends about some shit. You get what I'm saying, or whatever it may be. Like sometimes, and that's what I be thinking sometimes with the Shaq thing. He said open up to a woman. It doesn't mean he doesn't have anybody to open up to. He probably open up to one of his people, his mans, or something like that. Like, you get what I'm saying? So
That's a great point.
What is your perspective on it, Talib?
I mean, first I would say I feel like men deserve the ability to open up to a romantic partner. Like if we moving off the space of like protect and provide, you know, like we looking for our women to provide that peace. You know, like that's like the cliche way of looking at love and like the dynamic between like the masculine and the feminine. But like ultimately, like why can't men open up to their partners? Like it's just like you said. The key is finding the right partner, though. Like you don't want to do that with every woman because, as knowledgeable men, we know every woman ain't wife material. Every woman that we mess with ain't like we're not trying to get to that level with them.
Yeah.
And that's more on us as men to like date more intentionally, But I feel like men should deserve to be able to, to open up emotionally to their women because we go through a lot as men.
I think that like people like Shaq though, and that's Country Wayne, they may think about women differently, and their life is definitely maybe shaped different than us. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were married.
You know what I'm saying? But he's never been married since then, right?
Well, no, he hasn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
It's a different variable too because he is famous. So.
That's what I'm saying. He's famous.
That's
He's not just famous. He's like a legend.
Yeah.
Like you can't talk about NBA without him.
That's why I brought that the aspect
cultures,
of his celebrity status, like the status part and the financial status as well. I think personally for me, I think in my past I had trouble with providing like vulnerability with a partner because I thought it was a sign of weakness. That's how I personally felt when I was younger. And as I grew older and found out that first of all, everybody doesn't get that access to you. They don't deserve that access from you. But and I also then I came to a realization that what Talib said, that I deserve to be able to be vulnerable with a partner outside of a male friend or a male family member. So once I developed that comfortability within myself, and then when I found somebody, which I currently have, and they gave me that space where it was they was not inviting, but they was warm to the idea of me opening up to them, and they wanted to hear that from me, and it just gave me some of the most ease I've ever had.
I would say like, we're at the point where we can acknowledge that it does take some maturity for a man to open up, like to go against the norms that we've been taught. Like a man has to remain in that, sense of like power and like stability at all times. Yeah, stoicism. That's even better. That's a great word.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk
to him.
Talk to him. SAT words.
But like, like as we get older, we see like, men are human too. And I gotta shout out my wife because she said this to me a long time ago when we were actually having a conversation, like kind of like toward this degree. We were just talking about like men expressing themselves to their women and everything. And shout out my baby Julia. She said to me, she was like, if God didn't want men to cry, he wouldn't have gave them tears.
I mean, also too, like I think that speaks to just the I don't know. Like I think a lot of times things are so gender coded that like you forget the human side of it. You know, and when we have like very like just these strict gendered lines on things, we can take off and like shut off parts of our humanity. We've always given each other those safe spaces, and we always like really communicated with each other. But I would tell any my son, my cousins, my nephew when he gets of dating age, like never deal with someone that makes you feel like you have to shrink your feelings to put on a bravado, to put on a persona. You have to love yourself and love your humanity enough to be able to say, I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting someone that's not going to let me be who I want to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Just to quickly piggyback on what you just said, I think it was so powerful because being able to embrace your true authenticity within a relationship is just it's so healthy. And
I gotta put that on a song.
That's the wife.
Didn't I tell you put that on silent?
No. But yeah, that being able to embrace your true authenticity within a relationship is just so healthy. And like I said, to my prior point, it eases your mind and it lets you know that you have somebody that's fighting with you, not another person that's stacked against you within this crazy world we live in.
Like, oh man, this nigga crying shit.
Which is what I was saying, though. I think those ideas sometimes of not being opened up to a woman, it's unique to the person. Like, Shaq ain't with nobody right now. And, well, I'm not saying that he is or isn't, but, you know, I don't see him in no, like, recent, like, long-term relationships. Same thing with Country Wayne. He got a bunch of baby mothers. Not saying anything about that. I really don't care. But I'm just saying they're not with a constant partner that I've seen for a long time. And, you know, not saying that there isn't people with wives who do that. It's just that as those two examples that were on the show, they aren't with women, but they also don't adhere to. I don't feel like you should open up to a woman.
No, but I think like for me, when it comes to what I would speak to men and what I would give advice for, because I'm going to take the role in which Shaq was giving because he was somewhat giving advice or giving his perspective on what opening up looks like. So if I was talking and I was giving advice, I would say that has to be a requirement. Like you have to make also too expressing yourself and being communicative about your feelings has to be a daily practice, or not a daily practice, but a part of your being. I feel like for a lot of men, they're taught to shun their feelings. They're taught to not, express their emotions. And especially when it's emotions, men are only given times to express their emotions a lot of time when it's moments of rage or moments of strong desire. Any other type of emotions are not really welcome from men, whether that's sadness, whether that's grief, whether that's anxiousness, whether that's nervousness, indecisiveness. These ideas that men have to be, you have to be decisive at all moments. Or not being indecisive and being quick on your feet, those are good traits for anyone to have. But also too, if you have moments where you're not on your game with that, that shouldn't be an indictment on who you are, because a lot of times those things, when you're having moments of nervousness, having the moments of second guessing yourself, having moments of not feeling good or being in a bad place, they become hits on your masculinity, which become also hits on your humanity, which, for a lot of men, if they feel like they're not masculine in a certain way, then they're not even really a person. Like, who am I? If I'm not seen as this big, a leader figure, then who am I? And that's a horrible, I feel like that's such a pressurized way to live your life.
Can I ask just pose a question to all of us? Do we feel as though, right now we're talking about as far as like being able to open up and be vulnerable. Do we feel as though, do we have generalized places we could go with from outside of just our boys, outside of just our significant other and our family members? Do we have a place where we could be vulnerable?
Yeah, I think so.
And what does that look like to you?
and I'm gonna say this, and now because I don't want to just be hogging all the mic time and stuff. I just want to say, like, I feel like for a lot of men, you know, it's become very cliche or like a hot or like kind of a cliche line to say like, oh, well, just go to therapy, or you know, like those become like everybody doesn't have access to therapy at that. I will say that, but I will say if you do have access to therapy, that is a good place to go because it gives you a place to kind of exercise that feeling of like, let me get my shit off. You know, let me dump these thoughts. Let me put these things down. Also, too, journaling. I feel like just practicing jotting down your feelings. You know, these are all things that you could do, whatever it may be. It may be just you. It may not be jotting something down. You may not like to write. I would say, get on a voice note. Talk about how you're feeling. Keep like mental logs about how you're feeling. A lot of times, so for men, they're taught to hold in their emotions so much they don't even let them out amongst themselves when they're alone. Because we're taught to like enclose those things so much, we don't even do it when we're in the what it may bring.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Sounds another cliche, but I talk to God. I mean, there's literally. Shoot, I talk to God. I go in my room, I sit there, I say just my life problems, and I go whatever I need to say. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that, like I told you, not saying that it wouldn't do it any other woman or whatever. But right now, that's what worked for me. It's a bunch of different ways, you know, and this that I get off and have my own vulnerable moments. I just also feel like, you know, you don't have to go and be vulnerable. You don't have to go and be vulnerable with a woman. I think even really, you should practice being vulnerable with yourself before you start going to be vulnerable with a woman. You get what I'm saying? Because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like being vulnerable, you also have to understand how you want to be received while you're vulnerable by yourself. You get what I'm saying? Because something that you may expect this person to react a certain way while you're vulnerable. Like some people, if let's say someone's crying right now in front of you, some people will just freeze and just be like, Some women, you know, when they're vulnerable with you, they just want you to hold them and pat them down. Don't give them no advice. Don't say nothing. Just give them physical touch. Some people, when they're being vulnerable, they'll say it to you, then go away and be in their own space, and then come back to you later. People are vulnerable in different ways, and I think that's why I said being vulnerable with yourself first, because, you know, when I'm by myself and I'm vulnerable, I'm like, all right, when I get to the end of me or whatever, I'm at least my retrospective part, I'd be like, what would annoy the hell out of me right now or make me feel like I should never be vulnerable with a person right now again? You get what I'm saying? So, and then also do for myself, like, all right, this is what I want. And then now, what if another person was here? I'm doing it for myself, and the other person's doing it with me too. It's another second person helping you out. But you gotta do it on your own. I think doing it on your own first is important.
I want Quan and Tal to go after that, and then it was one more thing I want to say before we switch over and move on.
What you think, Quan?
So, I think there's still my spirituality first with prayer. Like, that's my conversation with God, to just lay all my burdens down and just my frustrations or even my thankfulness. I'll lay that down, and that's my form of openness. Then another aspect that I tend to gravitate towards, not telling Sean one of Sean answers, is the journaling aspect. I think that's very important. Then a third is journaling. I think journaling I said journaling already.
Yeah.
I meant to say a nature walk. So a nature walk, just being within nature, being able to breathe and concentrate my thoughts. I was doing yoga for extended period of time. That was also a great form. And the last is just pure exercise. Like, exercise, it just really alleviates everything.
I will say, me seeing large bodies of water does something for me.
Most definitely.
Yeah, most definitely.
How about you, Tyler?
Like, even if it's like a nice little pond or whatever, even like, man, I'm going to see Branchbrook Parks, Weekway Parks and Buddha sometimes and be like, you know what? I found a little piece today.
You might find something else over there too.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just be quite frank.
He ain't lying.
Somebody got rid of their guns. Threw a knife in there.
Trees and Glocks.
Knives and vines.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Just ignore him
not
when he
hitting
do stuff
today.
like that. We gotta ignore him when he
alright.
do stuff like that.
He provided the wine.
Bars.
He's good in my book.
Right.
Nah, I would
Wine
say,
good, mama.
I would say that I really can kind of build on all of you guys' answers. I definitely take a lot of my problems to the Lord. God understands you more than you understand yourself. So why wouldn't you bring your burdens to him, you know? And I've been blessed to have a wife where I can bring my burdens to her. I can bring, you know, any like negative feelings, you know, or anything. Now, I would say that I do tend to keep like stuff I don't deem like absolutely necessary to share. I do keep that to myself just to kind of maintain that image of like I am the man of the family, you know, like I am the rock, I am the foundation, you know. But ultimately, like, you know, that's kind of like I pick and choose, you know. I don't think everything needs to be shared. There's been many a times I done just call Sean on the phone, like, are so strong, you know.
And I think one thing about the whole vulnerability thing is I think people think like vulnerability is, yo, this is me. This is all the vulnerability I have right now. It's like sometimes it's like little increments and stuff.
Yeah, it
know
doesn't
what
have
I'm
to be a
saying?
motherfucker like boohoo crying. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
whatever,
and
like,
I,
you
and
know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
sometimes like I was listening to a podcast and they were kind of talking about that how, you know, um, because I do think at our baseline level, like I think a lot of things when it comes to emotions between men and women, it's a lot of stuff that overlaps that we don't think overlap because we're just like I said, we have these gendered socialized ways of viewing ourselves. But I also think that there are just certain fundamental things that where like men they just kind of move a certain type of way. So a motherfucker don't have to be like boohoo crying to be like being vulnerable with you. They could be actually like pretty like coherent and everything, but just letting you know. And I think the first step was something that I wanted to say is when it comes to talking to somebody and let's say you're with a young lady or whatever and you're having a moment and she doesn't give you that space, that safe space. I think a step to move towards that, and it's for anybody. Anybody can move the way they want to. Instead of sometimes just kind of distancing yourself, which is really understandable. But sometimes it's important to take that step forward and saying like, hey, like this moment that I had with you, like I felt like you kind of like I didn't feel safe, and like and you making me feel like that. And then the response from there, I feel like prompts wherever you should go from there. Now, if that person says like, I'm sorry, like, is there a way that I could learn how to like be there for you, or like, is there a way for me to like operate to give you that safe space? Now, if they're kind of like, gaslighting and like just not trying to be there to like understand, then I think it's time to move on.
I think just transition a little bit. A great form of vulnerability and understanding that gave me a way to go when it was outside of my religion. I think it was always amongst my friends, always amongst my male counterparts, always always going towards the brotherhood, and it could be within a group setting. If I felt as though I didn't want to present it necessarily all the way to the group, it's like Tosin said, it could be incrementally where I bring it to Tosin first, then I bring it to Talib, and then Sean, he somehow found out through all the conversation with amongst the guys, and then it was like a group discussion if it had to be an intervention. So I think vulnerability amongst your friends, amongst a counterpart, amongst anybody you could find like a peace of mind in is very important. I wanted to ask you guys, how does like just the generalized idea of friendship, what does that mean to you guys?
Yeah, I think like when it's like moving and navigating life and navigating young adulthood or your prepubescent years, it's just a motherfucker that like the same type of anime, or y'all like the same sports, or
Simple as that, right?
Yeah, it's simple. It's nothing like we like the same clothes and stuff like that. But as you get older and things happen and you maneuver or whatever, it could be somebody where you come to and say, hey man, like shoot, she's not looking really good for me right now. Someone you could reach out for help. Someone that's not only someone that's also there to give you positive reinforcement. Someone that's there to breathe life into you. Someone that's there to affirm you, but also someone that's also there to hold you accountable. Someone that's also there to tell you when they tell you in love when they feel like you're moving in a way that's not right.
But see, I'm very anecdote based with how I even formulate my thoughts. So I'll give you a prime example of friendship, right? Now, we've all had certain dealings with each other, whether it's family, watching each other in our family relationships, finances, everything, right? But it's Talib talking right now. So I'll give you an example. I remember when I first got my job, and I did what everybody do when they first get their job. I was calculating. No, that was the second thing I did. The first thing I did was calculate how much money I'm gonna make, if I work 80 hours.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The paycheck, right? But I remember for them 2 weeks, I did not have any money. Now, me and Julia was together at the time, right?
Yeah.
But I will never forget this, and that's why you gotta get people their flowers when they're here. I want to thank my brother right here because I was driving. Was real low, and I mean real low.
He had decimal points.
And we've been there.
Listen, decimal point. So I'll never forget this. You probably forgot because this was a while ago. I called Quan hey yo, you just spot me a little something.
Just a little something in the week.
And I literally meant a little something because I just needed enough gas to get home. And it's crazy because at that time, I thought I couldn't tell my girlfriend that. I don't got the pump take $5 if you got it. For real, the gas station take whatever you give.
You buy a gallon?
Exactly, bro. Quan spot me a little something, but the premise is I knew I could ask my brother that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I didn't think in that moment, damn, what this nigga gonna laugh at me? You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Damn, he gonna know I ain't got $7. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think I could tell her that at that point.
Yeah.
So I feel that's a snapshot of what friendship really is. Number one, a person or people you could be your true self with, but we literally have each other's backs. We done seen each other in every walk of life, and it don't matter what it is. Just come to your brothers with it.
So how does friendship look to you, Tosin?
Man, the definition. I'm just sitting here thinking about it. It's funny. I be reading these topic lists and never think about these joints till I get on the podcast. I don't know why, but
Freestyle Friday.
Let me get the headphones. All I need is one mic. Nah, but I feel like your friendship. There's a lot of ways to define it, but mutual individuals who you choose to share time with. And I guess that's the basic term, that you can choose to share time with, because I don't know, and it's just I know that's a very vague friendship, but it's some people I'm friends with. It don't mean I don't see them every day, and sometimes they don't even know me to my core, but we've shared time and together, which I kind of favorite and would if I had the chance to share with you again. I ain't gonna hold you. You got friends. I got friends in Texas. I got friends in DC. I got friends in in Nigeria. I can't see them every day, and I'm not gonna act like they've seen every
phase of your life.
Phase of me, but they've seen a phase of me in my life that we both enjoy each other, and that's a good sign that whatever the next phase is in their life, they might be able to rock with you. They still might be your friend. You know what I'm saying? I think friendship is one of those strange things that it gets stronger. It gets stronger the more you're around people, but it also has the ability to fall apart the more you're around someone too. Or
I know Sean has something to say. I'm gonna be very quick. I just wanted to say, so friendship for me looks like comfortability, trust, and respect. It's very simple to me. I think with I mean obviously Sean's my brother, blood brother, and these been my best friends since I was 13, 14 years old. I think the time equity that's been spent, the life experience that's been spent, is just irreplaceable. Not to say you can't make friends later on in life, because we all done made friends from different avenues of life, of jobs, just coming and going, playing ball, like just different experience within the community. We all done made different experience, had different experience with different people. But I would say with this core, like Tyler just gave an example of him helping me out. Shoot, me calling Tyler almost midnight for asking him to help me with as far as like my tires flat, or like you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was coming right there. Granted, I was able to get it rectified, but it just showed me, yo, I'm calling this joker. He's literally 3 minutes away. He's right there. It just shows that I could tell you countless of stories of Tosin and my brother helping me. Like, so it's literally like ultimately like the three cores I just said: the comfort, the trust, and the respect.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like the way I navigate, finding a friend, or I feel like I kind of like parse people out in certain categories, So I have acquaintances, and then I have a close acquaintances, and I have friends, and then I have family, And then like for me, for the most part, these not my friends, these are my family. This is family. Friends are, a step it may be people like you said, like, I might not see you every day, we talk, but yo, you my friend. I think about when I think about family, I think about like y'all, I think about like L, I think about, Danny David, like these are like these kind of family vibes or whatever. Like I'm gonna go the extra mile. And then when you think about friends, these are people, like I said, like that you see. But when we're talking about friendship, just on the core level, and I think the friendship level of it is kind of very much in alignment with how I view family as well. Is like someone that has your back, someone that you have their back, and that you guys are, you have a level of just openness, a level of understanding with them, a level of like love that you have, an unconditional love there, and that you guys have a certain type of respect for each other. I think about countless moments that I've had, like whether it be like just laughing, crying, whatever, like about whatever's going on in life, and someone that you when you're at your lowest, you feel as though like, yo man, like, can I lay my head on your shoulder for a minute? I think that shit is important, man. Like, people don't really understand, like, this life stuff gets really, really difficult. And it's, especially if we're talking about, like, black men and just from a race standpoint, man, like, we go through so much. We're dealing with so much on a daily basis, and we're trying to navigate while also pushing back on, like, stereotypes, pushing back on, like, just, like, people, just stuff that we grow up with, traumas that we grow up with, trying to get shit off that we, trying to walk past or meet up the expectations that we have for ourselves. And then when you can have people to say like, yo, man, I ain't feeling good. I'm not feeling like I'm myself. I'm not feeling like I'm on my A game right now. And they come and they accept you and they give you that space. It's important.
I wonder quickly.
But then Tosin about to say
Oh,
something.
okay, I'm sorry.
No, I just had a lighter question. I was gonna say, what do you call those people that they're not exactly your friend yet, but we have one more good hangout, you gonna be my friend? Be like, hey, yo, that's my man's. That's my man's.
It's like teetering the fence. Like,
No, but I feel like
How do you address them when you talking about somebody like, oh, you're like, you know James. You're like, oh, yeah, James, that's my man's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yo, but you.
We not cool enough to be like, yo, you my friend, But
You good vibes.
word,
You
good
peoples.
opportunity come out. We hanging out.
Friends and family are different. I have a
Yeah.
different expectation from them. When I have acquaintances and stuff like that, sometimes acquaintances and people you don't know that you don't really know like that, they do some fucked up shit to you, and you kind of like, damn, that's kind of crazy. I'm gonna just cut you off, or I'm not gonna really fuck with you. But I also have no real expectations because I don't know you like that.
You have
You just read my mind, yo, because I think that's a big thing too. Like with your friends, like with your friends, with your family, like we all consider each other family. Like if one of us was like venting to the other one and it was met with like some like disdain or like negative like thoughts, it would be like, who is this nigga?
Word.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not obvious. This is not my man. It's
Yeah.
like nah. Like you know what? Maybe you going through something. I'm gonna cut you some grace because like I know you're not like that.
Yeah.
Like we kind of have that like trust in each other where it's like, you solid. Like you reliable. Like I ain't gotta really like question your character. Or like I don't really gotta like I don't gotta second guess me coming to you and talking to it more toward family. They stand the test of time.
Ooh.
So like we've seen each other in like all different phases of life, single, married, like bachelor, whatever the phase is. It's like, we still here, like, and we kind of conform to like what's necessary in that moment. Sometimes your friends need that grace. Sometimes your friends need that like, you want some bullshit. Like it's like we're able to like kind of know what's necessary at the time.
I wanted to say, like, I think a big part of that too, like, I think we've talked about it before too, like when and this can kind of blurry the line sometimes, like I think a part of like friends and stuff like that is when there's like a consensus, like, hey, I may say something and you may not receive it well. Like it's been moments in time where the communication has not been, it's been off. But you say, at the end of the day, I'm mad at what you said, but I know at your root, you mean the best for me. Like, you mean, you have my best interest at hand. I just may think you're saying some bullshit right now. And I think, like, that's a really important part because there's so many people at times where you talk to them, you're like, I don't really know if you have my best interest at heart.
What's your angle?
Yeah, what's your angle? And I think that's like important.
Just adding, I think a very key component of the whole thing is also understanding, like, so prime example, I could have an issue with Sean, and I don't know how to necessarily. I know how my tone could come off at times, so I'll give a call to Tosin or I'll give a call to Taliban. I'll be like, yo, this is bothering me with Sean. Can you show me how to phrase this? Because I don't want to come off too strong, and I don't want to fracture. Granted, it's my brother. We always going to be good at the end of the day, but I don't want to fracture that respect level within that brotherhood, within that relationship. So I think that's a very key component to always understand and keep in mind of.
And you know what I think I just thought of that was good? That's why it's good to have friend groups. Because of the fact that it doesn't put so much pressure on just the friendship with you and that person. Like, if y'all having back and forth, if it's a friend group, both, at some point, both the friends going to go to y'all other mutual friend and be like, yo, how you think about this? How you think about this? And niggas feel how they feel, but they going to either know that, it's a different way you could have went about this, or they're gonna tell you and advise you in a way that's like, if I was by myself, I might make a different decision that only feeds my ego more or feeds my agenda more, as opposed to what we may think is a friend.
I wanted to give a RIP to your mans and
Carl
our
Weathers.
Man. Yeah, man. I wanted to give a big RIP
man.
to him, and yeah, that's sad news. As someone who has never actually watched Rocky before, I
Shame
feel
on you. I keep telling you.
definitely shame on me.
Shame him, y'all.
But I have.
You should jump you every day until you watch it.
Stone him, but not. No, but I was thinking about it too, though. I always remember that episode, that scene when he was like, if he dies, he dies. I'm like, damn.
That was Ivan Drago.
No, but he was talking about it.
Nah, but I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was about to say, they like
every time I think about you not seeing Rocky, I'm being feeling like this. Watch the damn movie.
Nah, it's funny. He haven't seen Rocky, and he let this man walk the streets of Philly.
Yeah,
Nah,
for real.
Unscathed.
And I was out there. I was out there for real, for
He
real.
was in the streets. I ain't even going front. You definitely.
I know we was talking about friends real quick. Do y'all have old friends? Like older people who are like legit older than you that are friends?
No.
Absolutely.
Really? Okay, cool. Because I be thinking that too.
Well, no. I'm bugging. I do have like, well, when you say older, when I be thinking about older, I be
Don't
thinking
get me
about
wrong, like, they
like
can
work
be-
acquaintances.
no, not even that. When I be thinking about like older, I be thinking about like a motherfucker that's like 7+ years older.
Oh,
than me.
No, I have friends who
I got
are like
friends like
50
that.
or 60 years older than me.
Yeah, like I have a.
Now,
like,
give me-
Wait, you
wait,
mean
50 years older?
You mean
than
50 years
Don't get
old?
me wrong,
You
I
mean
met
50?
them through work.
You mean 50 years old?
They're
Or-
50, not 50 years. Yeah, sorry. They're 50
You
years old.
scared me there.
Sorry,
Like,
sorry.
You gotta go do a wellness check on your friends.
Yeah,
No,
I was
no,
like, we
nah,
almost
they
30.
50 years
like.
old. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. It was this dude at Home Depot. His name is Mr. James. He was just funny as hell. But they also the best sometimes because it's always easier to receive life advice from them.
I'm not gonna front though. You like when you said 50 years older, I'm like, you text that motherfucker, he'd be like, yeah, so like James, there's a lot going on. Like, you know, I'm down bad. He gonna be like, who are you? Who?
Nah, he was Caribbean though, so I don't know. He was cool. He was
Since we talking about older friends, let me just shout out Mr. Charles, one of my coworkers. Guy always hit me with gems and great advice. Shout out to you, Mr. Charles.
Yeah, because those people, I think the older people, you always respect them as like them being older, but at some point, like they also look at you like, yo, oh, he's an equal too. But you always gonna keep. I mean, I don't know. If you're raised like I was raised, like you always gonna keep the respect to the older person.
Most
But
definitely.
it's also like being able to have a friendship within someone who's kind of older is always good.
You gonna keep that mister in the front.
Of
Word.
course.
And they also provide a level of experience to you in life that you may never have. Like I think that'd be something that, and I hate to be the one that's like, oh, that's wrong with this generation. But I do feel like our generation sometimes is just too tied within our generation, and we aren't able to communicate with the older and generations before us. Not saying that we can't, because not saying that it's their fault completely, because sometimes it's the older people too as well. But I do feel like the way the world has kind of been or has started to develop, we are in more of the silo of our social media era type people, and then the older people, they just hang with the
I know you had something
people.
quick to say. I just want to say this. One of the prime things that they do for me, like older gentlemen or older women, they do one thing all of our parents do. They know how to put things in proper perspective. Like, what's so funny?
I looked
Nah,
at Sean, I couldn't help it.
I'm sorry.
I saw the way he was looking at Tulsa.
I'm sorry. Nah, he's talking about that little mistake I made on my phone.
Yeah.
Nah,
They
I
definitely know how to
fucked
put
up. My
things
bad.
in proper perspective.
I'm about to say, don't let that go off again.
I knew that was coming.
I'm gonna let my
what?
foot off in your ass.
Reference? Where's the reference from?
Atlanta.
Shout
Thank
out
you,
Childish.
Word.
Shout out Childish.
Gambino.
Donald Glover.
Wrap this up.
Finish your thought, nigga.
I'm done. Nigga.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
say you're putting things in a proper perspective. So
No,
I
but-
got you, cuz.
No, but I think like all this conversation that we were having, like the crux of it, of like us bringing it together and like really having like this drawn out conversation is because a big part of this of what we're doing here, of these conversations we're having, is about like men and like not just men in general, but black men especially, and like how we can move through a lot of just the toxic things that we've been taught growing up, and like maneuvering that, and how like in our older age and like starting to try to build family and trying to be good husbands and good partners, like really having like these conversations amongst ourselves and then other people within the community and stuff. And we, as time goes on, we're going to have like more in-depth conversations. We're going to have, all of this is just like us, like I said, creating, I think we said from the beginning, creating this safe space for all of us. So yeah, man, like
Community.
Exactly. For real, building
Keyword.
So,
I'm about the community.
So at the end of the day, if you guys made it this far, I appreciate y'all. We take all the feedback to, we circle that around. We think about it. We I don't know why I just literally lost my thought into talking about that, but literally we internalize the feedback and we use it to make a better product for you guys. And these conversations, I think in today's time, there's a big commodification on like having the conversation, but I think this is like a really like podcasts are becoming like a really big form of like media and ways to get thoughts out. And I think like what we're trying to do is just give a space for men, and especially black men, to talk about vulnerability, talk about relationship, talk about the ways in which we want to maneuver, and just our viewpoints and perspectives on life in general.
This is episode 2. And Sean, fuck out of here with your stellar ass fucking vocabulary.
Oh wait, hold
You
up.
can't stumble through that,
You was
man.
on one this episode
I
with
ain't
your
gonna
vocab.
front.
I was feeling the vocab.
Yeah, it was up there. I had to get it.
And what's the real episode? Tolson, because he definitely messed up.
66?
66. Yeah, 66.
66?
Nigga,
Yeah.
you fucked it up.
Yeah. Nah, I will say, Sean, you did come in here and read the encyclopedia before you
Most
came in.
definitely, most definitely.
It's a thesaurus.
He's on one. You can't get him today. You can't
Yeah, I
get
ain't
him.
gonna pray. He took it. Yeah,
Wait till next episode.
Can't fuck
You
with
ain't
me
you
today.
ain't gonna get him today.
Nah, but it's spell thesaurus.
Huh?
Spell thesaurus. You heard me, huh? Spell
Go ahead.
thesaurus. Spell it.
Don't speak with his list.
No, I said spell it.
Spells thesaurus.
This is another part.
I'll do it next. I'll do it next
You
episode,
see what
Mike
happens?
Tyson.
Nah, you see what happens when they can't spell?
This is another part of the
Yeah.
brotherhood, yo.
I could talk.
It's been countless roast sessions between us, and it's all love. Like it's always gonna be all love. So.
No, it's not. He can't spell.
It's
I
not
love my
camaraderie.
brothers until they can spell.
It's not camaraderie amongst the brotherhood if you can't clown each other. Come
You
on,
know
now.
what? Hold up.
We gonna
hold
leave it
up,
on that.
Hold up. Hold
Nah,
up.
just try to spell thesaurus though.
I know. But at the end of the day, like I said, we just gonna leave it off on some good vibes. Wait, did you turn me off?
No, it just disconnects. Yo, don't look at me like that.
Yo,
First you mad because you can't spell
fuck is
thesaurus.
good,
now you
nigga.
can't- Yo, fuck this French.
I'm tired of this shit.
Damn.
Oh, I took my hat off.
I ain't gonna front. Niggas watch that Rocky video.
I was about to say, wait, don't make me take my ear.
Or, bitch. Ho. I'm on your ass.
Nah, step outside though.
Yo, we out.
You need a quick 5.
Love.
It's all love.
We outta
It's
here.
all love.
Peace.
Peace.